What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about The Circle. Have you watched it yet? It's on Netflix. I barely watched season one. I know I'm late. I'm late to the party. It came out during quarantine. I should have watched it during quarantine, but late to the party. But I saw season two came out, so I decided to watch season one. So here I am reviewing season one. I'm gonna go and review each character one by the way I remember that they were eliminated. So I'm gonna start with Elena Duval. So Elena Duval, I remember she wasn't that memorable. She was a pretty girl. She wore the same dress from her picture and in person. That's the only thing that really stuck out for me from her, that she wore the same dress. Like, dress repeater, I don't know. Not the most memorable character. Then, let's see. Karim Blanco. Karim Blanco, like, I feel like most of them were not intimidated, but whenever like the popular kid or the most athletic, the most handsome, the most beautiful person comes into the show, they decided to attack them, and that's how he got out. Some of the players were, yeah, I don't want to be known like the model, but that Elena, she kind of said that, but then she still got eliminated. Then Karim Blanco still got eliminated. Maybe it has to do with their personality, because you know how pretty people really rely on their looks, and they don't really have a deep personality. They're not deep inside. Most of them is like looks. Like, for example, I remember in one of my jobs there was this young girl, and you could tell she was a really beautiful girl. It was kind of even hard to look her in the eye, because I don't know, like, she kind of radiated this different aura around her, but like, it's not like I wanted it. So beautiful people, like, they want to like not intimidate you. You don't even want to open up to them, or you don't want to even get close to them or acknowledge them, just because you're nervous around them. Like, even like as young people, they start to develop this different style as opposed to bigger people, because bigger people have to have this bang popping ass personality. If not, they're gonna be like left behind, right? So I feel like that's what happened to Elena and Karim. And then let's talk about, so Karim, she exited episode 3 or the 5th episode. She was like the butch lesbian. A lot of people thought she was like the bulldog, the one that attacks, and the one that, I guess most of them were fake, and they were trying to be this fake person, like fake nice. And she was like the only one that brought it. And like, whenever they brought it, they canceled her out. They were like, no, like, we need to be nice in this game. All of them were trying to play a nice game, as opposed to her. She was trying to like kind of like play a different game, and like all the other players did not like her strategy, so she was booted off. I liked her. She had a nice personality. Like, and then episode 7, Miranda. Oh yeah, she was trying to hook up with Karim. Mercedes, a lesbian. They had a connection going on. And like, at first she came in as a lesbian, and then she left straight lady, and she was into Joey. And that was kind of weird, because she was playing for both teams. I guess she's like a bisexual. She's fluid, and she's pretty. Like, if you zoom out. But if like just her head and her haircut, it's kind of weird. But like, once you zoom out and you see her whole athletic body, then yeah, like, she's a pretty girl. She has a nice personality. Like, if I needed a friend or wanted to look for a friend, I would definitely go for a friend like her. She was calm, peaceful, or like what she portrayed in the show. Episode 9, Bill. Oh, Bill. He's not that memorable, because he came in late to the show. I don't know. I didn't like how they were bringing in people late to the show, and they didn't even get a chance to know them. Like, I feel like in season 2, because I haven't watched season 2, but in season 2, if they bring in people, they need to like play games with them as soon as they drop into the house, like, so we can know them, so they could start bonding. I feel like the last people that were alive that were not blocked in the circle was because they hadn't formed a bond with everybody else. So Bill, I'm sorry, Bill, but they didn't know you, and you were trying to be like this tough alpha male. And I'm sorry, but like Mercedes, y'all both had to be kicked out, because nobody liked alpha personalities in this house. Oh, Sean is that one. She was that catfish, remember? She was the big girl posing as a skinny girl, and like, they were both blonde, and they were just, one was bigger and the other one was skinnier. Like, I understand it, because like, coming from I'm a bigger guy, right? And like, I feel like people automatically gravitate toward thinner, skinnier people, so I understand where she was coming from. But at the same time, I don't understand where she was coming from, because simply from the fact that she's an online presence. So she had already a big following online for being a plus size model, and so she didn't really need to go and hide behind the skinny model lady friend, right? Like Shabam, if he would have come in and be like, I don't really like online, and I'm gonna pose or be as a catfish as this normal, not normal, but like, like average white male in the USA. But no, I don't think Sean had any business in that. And she got offended when people got mad at her for being a catfish. But she was trying to be all like this tough, like cool lady, like, yeah, I came out as catfish, so love me. So, but when people were flipping on her, she did not like that. And so I wonder what would happen if she would have been like, if she wouldn't have outed herself as a catfish, what would have happened? I guess we'll never know. Eddie and Tammy. Again, I don't like that. I mean, when was she introduced? It was already episode 9 or 8 when they were introduced. So already 8 episodes. It's kind of hard to build and to get a connection, even from the viewer into the episode. Like, I don't really know this guy. Like, he was barely in the game. So I feel like if the mom and him would have been in the house or in the circle since day one, it would have been way different. And maybe people would have. He would have been the Joey, right? He would have been like the cool guy, the Joey guy. But he came in way too late for me, and I don't really have an opinion because I don't really know the dude. Okay, now we're going to go to our top 5 winners. 5th place was Rebecca Seaburn. Like, him and that one guy, Adam. Seaburn and Adam, that was the awkwardest date in the world. Like, whenever they were having that date, like, they were both feminine guys. Like, they're not the both alpha, like, Joey or Ed type of guys. They were more, like, flamboyant. Like, the guy wore, like, rainbows and crap and tie-dye. And, Seaburn, he wore, like, the slippers as a bear. Like, they were both feminine, so whenever they were on their date, I was cracking up because, like, they were trying to pose as different people, and it was just the most hilarious thing to watch. Like, whenever I saw that episode, I got hooked because I wasn't really watching The Circle. Like, I watched, like, the first 3 episodes, and it, like, a couple of days passed, and I watched a couple more, but I wasn't hooked. You know, whenever you're hooked on a series, you watch number 1 and to number 10 or whatever on the single day or days, like consecutive days. But I wasn't that hooked. But whenever they showed their date, I was dead, and that was the most hilarious situation I have ever seen. And then Shabam and Seaburn, I feel like Shabam was crushing on Rebecca or Seaburn, but I feel like Shabam was so embarrassed because, like, whenever the lady asked him in the reunion, he was kind of like standoffish and like, no, I never felt nothing for her. But you can tell that he was writing for her thinking he had a, like, love connection. And I feel bad for Shabam because, like, he didn't know any better, and Rebecca was dead ass wrong. I feel like he's a little ditzy. Like, he's not the brightest bulb in the world, but that was wrong of him leading on Shabam like that. But it was pretty cool that he came up to 5th place as a catfish, even though all of them were like, I feel like all of them, since they were playing the nice game, they couldn't really out her or out Rebecca as being a catfish because they were all playing a nice game. And if you came out and been like, hey, Rebecca's a catfish, they would have been eliminated, like Mercedes and Bill, because both of them were like, alpha people. So that was not the game that this circle was playing. I wonder how the next season 2 came up. 4th place, Chris. Which one was Chris? I forgot. Oh, Chris, the flamboyant gay guy. Like, they didn't really show him on the show. Like, I feel like he was like the water of the meal. Like, yeah, he's flamboyant, but, like, he wasn't really, he wasn't one of the memorable cast members. Like, I don't really remember anything he really did. He wasn't, like, I guess he was, like, a flip-flop, but, like, he wasn't bringing really anything to the game. Like, he was just there. And, like, he's not memorable in my opinion. Sammy, the beautiful girl, the only girl that got top 5, she was actually pretty cool. Like, at first I was like, this girl, she's kind of annoying, tattoos, and she just doesn't really have anything. But, like, towards the end, like, I really started to like Sammy. Like, I don't know, like, her personality, and she was truthful. I really liked her at the end. I wish I'm glad she got 3rd place, but I wish she would have won. Shabam, I didn't really like him. Like, I don't know. He's kind of like his personality. Like, I wouldn't like he would be annoying to me. Like, he's too energetic. Take a chill pill, man. Like, he makes for good TV. Awkward guy, awkward. I'm gonna say 25-year-old, but not my cup of tea. I would not like to if they were like, hey, would you rather be with friends with Shabam or Sammy? I'd be like Sammy. She's like more real. She's more like down to earth. She's more grounded. Not like Shabam. I don't know, too bubbly, too. Not my cup of person. And then Joey, the winner, based on how everybody was playing the nice game, I'm assuming that's why he won, because he was the nicest and the most kind and the most real. It would have been funny if he would have been a catfish, but I feel like at the end of the day, like, let's look at all the catfish. So Rebecca. So Seaburn really couldn't be a good catfish because he was trying to play this woman, and his type of woman was way too nice, too fake. So nobody really believed him as a catfish. And then Alex, nobody believed him as Adam because he was way too flamboyant. Even like he couldn't fake it well enough. Neither of them could fake it. Mercedes, they were kind of believing her, but again, this game was not her type of game because she was to be an alpha person who should have been a nice lady, a nice Karen. Or so if Karen would have been a nice person and portrayed Mercedes as a good person, then she could have gotten high. But again, she couldn't fake it. She was being herself. And then what was that other girl? Sean was not, she didn't even have a fake name. But Sean, I feel like if she wouldn't have outed herself as a catfish, she could have gone high. But like, again, Seaburn, Ed, Alex, and Karen, they couldn't really play a catfish because they weren't good catfish. Their personalities were coming out on their catfish, and then their exterior did not match what they were typing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was two different people, and they were kind of hooking on. The only two that could have probably faked it to the end would have been Sean and Karen, but the other ones, they did bad catfish. Overall, I really liked the show. It was pretty funny towards the end, but again, you have to really get hooked into the show before. I feel like season 2, if they bring more funny stuff, more games towards the beginning, and like they bring more stuff towards the beginning, like the that funny relationship, people would really be hooked on it from the beginning, not towards the end. Thanks for watching. Like and comment for more videos.